Alright guys, well it's been a while since my last stick review, but a couple weeks ago I saw this beauty on the market and just couldn't say no to it, couldn't pass it up. For those of you who haven't read the title yet, it is a Doughty S19 repainted to look like a GX. Now right off the bat when I saw the listing, I thought to myself, looking back on all the sticks that Doughty has used since he used the S19 in the 2009-10 season and the 2010-11 season, I would imagine every single one has been an S19 repaint. He must be, one of those creatures of habit who, doesn't like change. And can you really blame him? When a stick works for you and you've had a great career like he's had, I wouldn't switch it up either. But this was a very cool stick. Obviously, there aren't too many S19s on the market nowadays, so you're gonna have to take advantage when you see one of these. And I think it's very cool to have one of his more recent ones and have the GX graphics on it as well. So taking a look at some of the features is pretty straightforward, I guess. I'm sure many of you have seen S19s up until this point because 6 or 7 years ago when they first came out in the fall of 2009, they were very popular, and they were being used ranks and in the NHL for many years even after that. But I guess to start off, we'll take a look at what made the S19 and the original S17s iconic was the elliptical taper down here. You see the oval shape that connects the blade and about a quarter of the way up the shaft. That's the first thing that jumps out, as all S19s were known for. And going back to the sticks that Doughty was using, it makes me wonder if even the Area 51s that he had, I believe he started using those in the lockout shortened 2013 season, and then he used them all throughout the 2013-14 season. Those were the all black Easton sticks, and it just had like a little Easton logo written about right here up the shaft, maybe even a little bit further down, but you get my point. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Google search Oliver Ekman-Larsson pictures from the last 2 seasons. He was using them for a long time. Or an easier way is probably just Google search Doughty in the 2014 playoffs and 2014 season. He was using them for the duration of that. But I've used this stick so far once, and I really like it. Obviously I never owned an S19 from back in the day, but I did have an S17, and that was one of my favorite sticks, so it's bringing back a lot of memories of that. The only thing that sucks, and obviously I couldn't be picky with this, was it's a 105 flex, and that's a lot of flex for me. It's a lot of stiffness. I'm usually in, like I've said in my other videos, in the 75-85 range, so it's kind of tough for those in tight wrist shots and whatnot. It's good for one-timers, of course, and everything like that, but I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the strongest guy, so it doesn't really work well for me. And here's the invoice for it that I got that just confirms it right. Doughty S19 Dress This Synergy GX 105 Flex. So that's the only bad thing about the stick, but I mean, whatever. I'm not a professional, so I don't need to be too picky about it. I just wanted to be able to own a nice Doughty edition. He's one of my favorite players as well, so it's pretty cool to have it from that side. Let me try and get a better look here. You just see number 8 Doughty. On the back, there isn't really too much coating here. The only other thing I wanted to be sure to point out was on the blade, there's like it has that like sandpaper texture right here. You can hear my thumb when I scratch it. It makes the significant noise as opposed to the rest of the shaft. That's probably something that Doughty's kept for a while. And look at my tape job. I tried to do my best to mimic Doughty's tape job. I think I got pretty close. He maybe puts like one more ring of tape closer to the toe, but I think this is pretty close. I looked at a couple pictures to try and nail it, but pretty cool to try and get that as close as possible. Now, for those of you who watch my videos often and have seen my old ones, I'm gonna bring back one of those from that. Here's my Jared Spurgeon GX. I already did a video on this one. If you haven't seen the video, go ahead and check that one out after this, but it's pretty cool because you can see the differences right off the bat from these two GXs. You remember Spurgeon has that like snake material down the middle of the shaft to give them a little bit extra grip. Obviously, there's no elliptical taper on Spurgeon. Spurgeon's is on the right, by the way. And the other thing I noticed off the bat with Doughty's was it was way longer than the other sticks that I usually get. And that's probably because it's a 105 flex. But you notice the graphics don't even line up. Look at I cut them at the same height because, that's standard for me. But obviously, since Doughty's stick was way longer from the get-go, it means they had to stretch the graphics out a little bit more, so it always looks it looks kind of funky, when I bring both of these sticks to the rink. My buddy asked me the other day, it was like, whoa, like your sticks are not lining up here. They look like the same ones, but I can't tell. And I had to tell him, well, that's because they're not the same ones. They have the same graphics for the most part, but they're very, very different sticks, and only people who pay close enough attention to them can spot the differences. But yeah, so I mean, other than the 105 flex, it's a really good stick. I like everything else about it. It like I said, bringing back memories of the S19. The only other thing I haven't talked about was the curve. Don't have to explain too much. It's a P28. That's another reason why I really wanted to get it. Like I said in my other videos, P28s, P92s are my go-to curves. Probably the only curves on sticks you'll see me make videos of. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a good look here at a Drew Doughty S19 repainted as a GX. If I miss anything, or if you know anything about Doughty's Pro Stocks, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And as always, check out my other videos. I got more coming. I also got another stick the other day. I'm not gonna spoil it yet. You'll just have to wait for me to upload that. Also got a new pair of gloves coming, so hopefully you'll stick around and you'll see those videos when they're up. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and don't be afraid to engage in conversation, and we will see you next time.